Dune Awakening, ladies and gentlemen. It landed with a loud boom, and now it is sinking into the quicksand, dragged down by glitches, bad decisions and the dev's vision. This video is inspired by my solo journey through the best survival game I hated, or maybe the worst one I've liked. Whether you're new, battle-scarred, or just here for the drama, welcome. Let's start with the positive stuff, and there's luckily quite a lot of it. I stumbled upon the game when it landed on Steam and expected yet another survival title with shiny Unreal Engine 5 coating, and I'm honestly not a huge fan of Unreal Engine 5, but I'm really into survival games, so I gave it a shot, and let me tell you, I was blown away. Dune Awakening delivers something not quite common nowadays, especially during the early game. Tension, solid feel of discovery, and two enemies that you cannot just stab to death. The heat and the sand. The heat forces you to hop between dew bushes until you basically unlock the tech to make your own water. And the sand, that's a whole other story. Quicksand, sandstorms, and of course, the worms. Big underground creatures that hate loud noises and people. Literally me. It's scratched that each, in a way, survival games haven't in a while, and I was hooked. The grind in this game, up to tier 6, is addictive in the best way. Farming, crafting, it's all perfectly balanced. I actually really enjoyed mining. I would probably mine the ore for some Chinese guild for free if they ask nicely. And the early game feels rewarding. I remember seeing my neighbor's base with 2 bikes next to it and thinking, oh man, that will take me forever. And it didn't. Soon I had my own bike, which I promptly lost in a quicksand soon after while a worm tried to eat me. I took this screenshot of him staring me down because I panicked and forgot to save the footage. Vehicles in this game in general are a real highlight, at least for me. Sandbikes, buggies, thopters, they don't just look good, they also feel good. Especially the buggy Cutteray. I made one and I took it out for a spin and went from gathering 50 fuel cells per node to 400. I even thought at first it was a bug. It made resource collection satisfying without killing the feeling of the grind. Vehicle assembly is great too. Every part can be exchanged and damaged, and it is not only visually shown, it also has effects on your vehicle performance. So you always need to keep a repair tool and building wire with you if you don't want to end up in some sticky situation. And flying, oh, don't even get me started. The ornithopters are the best flying vehicles I've seen in any game. The Scout is light and agile like a race car. The Assault Thopter is heavy like a flying truck. You really feel the weight and the inertia of your vehicle. I've spent half my playtime just flying around for fun, exploring the world. And the world around you has some personality, and it has that weird, dirty charm. The NPCs say such weird things sometimes, and I like it.
That's quite big.
This here is the Trooper quest giver. If you meet her, ask her about what kind of a greasy shit is she talking about, and trust me, you will not be disappointed. When you kill a hostile NPC, you can suck their blood dry to filter it into drinkable water and stuff them into some nightmare machine that extracts the rest of their bodily fluids. It is so messed up and so cool! At first it felt like the whole community is enjoying the ride, but slowly the cracks started to show, especially the closer you get to the endgame. A bug here, a glitch there, the deafening developer silence, the grind that suddenly went from satisfying to tedious. PvPs that promised intensity but delivered mindless ganks and brought out the worst in people. This is exactly where things began to go south. A little disclaimer here. When I finished writing this chapter, I realized that my bad stuff chapter is 3 times as long as the good stuff one. I like complaining, and if you like listening, you know which buttons to press. So for now I will focus on the nastiest stuff that set me off during my gameplay and keep away from the patched stuff, and I will not mention anything small like a terrifyingly loud Thopter takeoff sound. Okay, thanks.
A fate worse than death. But at least I'm not a girl.
I don't know how Dune Awakening managed to attract such a toxic player base, but every interaction I had with other players was a catastrophe. Let me show you a couple of examples from bad to worst. A random guy asks for help. He cannot tell me where he is, then he ends up threatening me. But okay, I know it's not too bad. The next example, right after filming a worm going dolphin mode, I get ganked by a 5-man group right on this exact spice field. They chase me through the whole PvE zone while insulting my whole bloodline. Why? But the final straw that made me stop communicating with other players whatsoever was my neighbors. It is important to mention that they were all from a couple of different bases, and one evening they climbed onto my roof and, well, you will see in the next clip.
Where are you guys from?
Yeah, I'm from Sweden.
Sweden.
I am from Germany.
Ah, sehr gut.
Ah, the juice wine.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure I picked it up.
Judenschwein.
Super.
That was not really nice of you.
You know the song Erica?
Erica.
But you can do some hides for us. Come on, give us a real authentic German Heil Hitler.
Yeah.
And the fact that they just met that evening and their interests aligned makes it even worse. I tried reporting them and I received nothing, no reply. Quickly searching on Reddit, it was confirmed what I feared. The report system is purely cosmetic. You cannot really identify who to report in most cases because player names only appear if you are very close to each other, if you're attacked by them and you can see their name in the log, or if they speak in the chat. So before this patch, there was, for example, a griefing method where they pinned you to the sand as worm bait, and basically you cannot report what you cannot identify. And there's this button that is called request help. I tried using it a couple of times and every time it broke my game so much that I needed to restart to fix it. There are also quite a lot of spam bots that message you privately, and the report button in their profile does a little less than nothing. The window just closes. Cheaters speed hacking, kidnapping players with vehicles since the beginning, and it was ignored until it went viral. Why does it feel like the customer support have their hands tied behind their backs? The desert is lawless and not in a fun way. Now let's quickly mention player interaction with the game and quality of life features, or rather the complete lack of it. Here's a quick list. Inconsistent main interaction button. Sometimes E, sometimes F, sometimes space, sometimes press, sometimes hold. Who is responsible for this? Can you give them a coffee or something? They need to log the hell in. Tier icons resemble nothing and follow no logic. You just have to memorize it. I didn't. Item descriptions in the store are some weird lore dumps with no stats. It is supposedly patched, but call me out all you want, but I still see no stats or any buttons that helps me. Splash screens.
I dream of it.
You cannot just put the items from your thopter to the bank, first in your backpack and through the dialogue option to the bank. That is, if you split your things into smaller piles before you went to the city. It is apparently too heavy and oh no, you forgot to split it beforehand. Go through 2 loading screens and a pointless flying minigame to the desert and get spawned in a sandstorm as a punishment. Then split it and go back. Did you give the responsible person some coffee yet? Maybe give them also a hug and a week off. They're not okay. It is worth of mentioning that none of this is game breaking, but it is always with you wherever you go and whatever you do. Now let's talk glitches and how the game behaves. Unreal Engine 5 and why I'm not the biggest fan of it. Bad performance. Low draw distance. The sun is leaking. Lost inventory while going in or out of deep desert. Devs didn't acknowledge it at first. It was patched later on, but was reintroduced again with the latest patch. Constant rubber banding. Vehicles teleport or clip under the map. You might get stuck in such an animation while boarding your transport or climbing the shipwreck. That one makes the worm especially happy. And I just barely scratched the surface here. There are also countless exploits and cheats that ruined a lot of players' experiences, and these problems are experienced by the majority of players more or less. If you say that you have never experienced anything of the above, I have something to tell you. Stop normalizing buying unfinished games without polish or basic quality of life. This is not early access. And now, to the spiciest topic.
That's the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
The deep desert and the dev's vision behind it. Let's first get this out of the way. My entire tier 6 grind happened before the August 12th patch. Back then, the tier 6 grind was pure hell. After the patch it is a lot easier, but I lived through the old version and that's the story I'm telling. Progressing up to tier 6 was and still is an absolute cinema, how kids call it these days. But Deep Desert was part of the game where it all fell apart, and this Reddit comment perfectly describes why people spend hundreds of hours in this game and leave frustrated. Deep Desert was originally 100% PvP, but we got a compromise, and that compromise got both sides furious. The devs just didn't want to understand that PvE and PvP people cannot coexist because they derive fun from different sources. Besides, the game is not sold as a PvP title, and until Tier 6 it just has no signs and no warnings about becoming a copy of Rust on a school break. Our goal is not to force PvE players to interact with a PvP system, says creative director. Really? Then why are most shipwrecks and some quest locations PvP flagged? I mean, yeah, optional. You just don't get the essential resources and don't do quests then? Our wish was that players would form guilds to overcome the bleakness of the Deep Desert. Sounds great, but there is no guild or group finder, no recruitment system. The global chat is a graveyard. There are no means for teaming up with strangers. If you are a completionist like me and strive to explore all the corners of the game, you had no choice but to unwillingly participate in the dirtiest PvP system imaginable. Because it didn't offer a high-risk, high-reward system how the devs told us. It offered only high-risk. Rockets weighed nothing, cost not much to craft and could delete your transport in seconds. When you die in PvP, you do not drop your gear or anything really of value, but you lose the most important thing, your time. And if you farm, you cannot defend yourself on the ground because you cannot use shields while farming spice, for example. And by the way, the enemy sees you farming before you even see them, thanks to how the game renders spice before players. The only real counter is a rare homing missile launcher, but good luck getting one. Deep Desert is a free-for-all chaos, and even your faction alignment doesn't matter. I did my share of PvP and crafted quite some tier 6 gear, but I felt nothing. Absolutely no satisfaction from this grind. The recent patch treats PvE players and solos better, but for what I know, this change might not have been intended. But let's be real, the game is not dead, it is just sick, and there are ways to fix it. Give us incentives for meaningful PvP. There is just no reason to go to the PvP zone anymore. Give us more reasons and means to team up. Proper guild systems and recruiting options. Talk to your player base, listen and respond before it is too late. You have done such a good job with the last patch, the whole subreddit is praising you right now. You made it also easier for endgame players to jump back to the endgame loop when the new content drops. However, the player who quit already will never know that. After all, I enjoyed this game. I haven't been this hooked on a survival loop in years, but for me the Stockholm Syndrome is real. I want to quit and take a break, but my base will decay. My loot from over 200 hours will be lost to the desert. With no proper banking system, I pay my taxes once again. I get my trusty Thopter some new tier 6 parts and I stay. And I honestly don't know how I feel about it. My emotions are as mixed as the game's Steam reviews. And this is it. Let me know what you think about this video, because it was a new format for me. Do you want me to go deeper into Dune Awakening in the future, or maybe discuss some other games, like my 7 years long journey in Fallout 76? I have more ideas on my mind, but your support is the thing that will make them real. In the end, if you ever feel useless, just remember, missile launchers can be mounted on buggies, and this button exists. I'll see you guys.